Thanks for tuning in to watch The Ordinary Filmmaker. I've got a couple of news items to talk to you about today, but the first is, are you ready for this? It's all going to be about APS-C R System cameras. Now, if you've been following the rumors since last year, Craig at Canon Rumors has been leading these rumors, summarizing them, and the latest we have, well, we're going to have 3 APS-C R System cameras, a high-end one, a medium-level one, and then an entry-level one, kind of following the Rebel, the 90D, and that kind of, and the 7D. However, if you followed Craig's post yesterday, that's kind of changed a little bit. Let me read a quote from Canon Rumors dated yesterday. I've been told that Canon's been actively doing market research with select pros and others to see if there's a real demand for such a camera. Okay, market research? Market research? You mean to tell me they don't even have a prototype? They're not testing this thing out in the wild? Are you trying to tell me that we could be years away from seeing an APS-C R System camera? Oh, I'd be really surprised if that was the case. I'd be really disappointed. Now, they're doing market research to see if there's a demand, and I'd say, yeah, hell yeah, there's a demand. I mean, the 90D and the Rebel series have sold very, very well. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if sales are down recently because, well, Canon's made several announcements. They've really pretty much told everybody that they're late to the mirrorless game. They're focused completely on developing for the R System and R System lenses. So I wouldn't be surprised if people are starting to sort of hold off buying 90Ds and Rebels, waiting to see what Canon's going to do with these rumored APS-C R System cameras. Market research. I could just imagine the boardroom. And you know what, I'm just thinking of, I'm imagining Casey doing the skit right now where he does the black and white and he says something like, Jenkins, so how's that market research doing? Have you been talking to the boys? Have you been talking to the your friends while you're playing PlayStation? What are they saying? Do you want an R System camera or something like that? I certainly hope they're a lot further along. Right now, Canon's lineup is a little bit disconnected. Now, as far as professional cameras go, we have the R5 and the R6, and then everything else is, well, I wouldn't say old. We got the 1DX Mark III, but you know, you'd be pretty daft or in need of a camera right away to buy the 1DX Mark III when you know the R3 is coming out soon and the R1 is probably going to be coming out next year. And then the EF-M mount, I'd be really hard-pressed to even put any money into buying a camera for the EF-M mount when all we're hearing is that, yeah, you know, it might be on its last legs. Canon's looking at a retirement strategy or exit strategy. And when's the last time we saw a lens for the EF-M mount that's come from Canon? I can't think of one. It's been at least a year, hasn't it? I don't even think we got one last year, did we? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But here's a quote, and I think I agree with Craig on this, and this is where he's addressing the EF-M mount. The EOS-M line of Canon cameras is in a state of unknown, though I have reported a few times that the EOS-M lineup will ride off into the sunset in its current form in favor of the RF mount. And whenever I'm trying to make sense of a company's offerings like Canon, we've got great professional cameras in the R5 and the R6, and then when we look a little bit further down at the entry level, the EOS R and the RP were, well, they weren't exciting offerings when they came out. In fact, that the EOS R was more or less just a mirrorless version of the 5D Mark IV, a camera that came out, well, back in 2016 or 2015. And the RP, well, it was so heavily crippled compared to the EOS R that, you know, for video-wise, I'd rather get the Canon 90D. And then if we look at other cameras, we can look at the M6 Mark II, which is supposedly a mirrorless version of the 90D, but there's some things missing that has you go, well, why? And I don't see the M6 Mark II to be taking the baton from the 90D and carrying it on into the sunset. I really do believe that the EOS-M is on its last legs and that Canon is working on a strategy to exit that mirrorless system. It's not the smartest system. Yes, they've got some nice cameras, but if you buy a lens for the EF-M mount, you can't migrate. You can't take it to the R System. You can't even take those lenses into the EF-M or, sorry, EF-S or EF line. It's it's a dead end. And if you got a bunch of customers that have an EFM camera, well, what's the big push for them to want to move into the R system? All those lenses won't migrate, so they might as well look at Sony because they've got to buy a whole new line of lenses. And so I've never really, I think they came up with the EFM without an entire holistic strategy, looking at the entire lineup, looking at where mirrorless was going. Unlike companies like Sony, which very early on jumped into mirrorless, back when Sony's first mirrorless cameras, well, they were pretty much laughable by all professionals and thought, this isn't a thing for us. But that was a long time ago. Sony has come up with incredible mirrorless cameras, APS-C and full frame, and guess what? The lenses work back and forth between them. Now, of course, you're going to have to deal with that focal length and apply that 1.5 times crop. On Sony, Canon, it's 1.6, but I really hope, and I think Craig said this comes from reliable sources, someone told him, but we've been hearing that about a lot of the other rumors. I'd be really surprised if we don't see an APS-C R system camera later this fall or in Q1 at the latest. I think it would be a huge strategic mistake by Canon, or a tactical mistake by Canon, not to address APS-C in the R system. This is no longer 2020. This is no longer 2019 or 2018. Mirrorless is where it's at, and the R system has a lot of potential. Let's get an APS-C camera out there and let's start selling them. All right, I want to talk to you guys about a few other things here. Now, Sony, the a7 IV, it was rumored to be coming out September, October, and that was a credible rumor, but not surprisingly, that date isn't going to happen. And why? Well, you can probably imagine. Yeah, that's right, chip shortage. It's pretty much unlikely we're going to get the a7 IV this year. I'm thinking, from what I'm hearing, that it's most likely going to be delayed until the first quarter. It could come out in January, or they could wait all the way till May. They're not going to do it in December. December is not a good month to release stuff, so you basically got September, October, November. If they're not doing September, October, I don't really see them doing November. I think they'd be better off hitting in January. It's a big time for cameras. There's a lot of announcements. We start off with CES, and then we get into a lot of trade shows, CP+, and the like. So I know it's been a long wait. You were really hoping to see the a7 IV instead of the a7S III, and you know what? It has been a long wait, but hang tight. It's 2021. We got COVID, we got chip shortages, we got supply line problems, we got problems with all the logistics. So we just have to wait. And it's been a pretty boring time for the channel too. Normally, this time last year, I was publishing video after video. I couldn't keep up. The news was coming like a freight train, and you just couldn't stop it. This year, I've got a week or two between videos, and when a lot of this news came out yesterday, I thought, this isn't big enough to waste your time discussing this and giving you my opinion and analysis on items that I think are pretty obvious. With that being said, I want to talk about something to maybe pique up your interest, get you a little bit excited, give you some positive news. This is something I'm looking at doing either, probably this weekend is too soon, but please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm looking at doing a ordinary filmmaker in the park, so I can pick a park close by. I'm in the greater Toronto area. What I was thinking of doing, since things have opened up a lot, we can meet in larger groups now. I think 50% of the population has its second dose, so I feel a lot more comfortable getting together with you folks. And here's what I was thinking of doing, is just coming up with a park, putting the information in the community forum, mentioning it at the end of a video, and saying, hey, if anyone's interested, I'm going to be at this park on this date at this time. If you got camera questions, if you just want to hang out, or if you'd like to go a little bit behind the scenes, and I can show you some of my prime filming spots in the trails of where I live and give you guys a bit of a glimpse behind the scene, and also a sort of a chance to socialize. Now, I do ask that you have at least the first dose, and I'm going to ask people to bring masks because not everybody's comfortable not wearing a mask, and I'll probably bring one too. But yeah, what do you think of doing that? would you like me to do? And I'm thinking this might even be better than doing the Q&A. If I give you, and how much notice would you like? Would you like a week? Would you like 2 weeks notice? I know that the board is opening up, I think, this week, so our friends from the States will be allowed to come up. If you've had your second dose, though, that is the qualifier, is that if you're going to come, if you've heard the news and you're looking at coming to visit Canada, please check the details. These things can change weekly, but right now you do have to have at least proof of a second dose to be able to come up here. But I'm thinking, where I live in Ontario, I'm within an hour's drive of the Greater Toronto area. I'm only about an hour and a half drive from Buffalo. Detroit's a little bit far. It's about 5 hours, and depending on the speed you travel at. And I don't recommend traveling at high rates of speed. But let me know what you think of doing. Let me know what you think of doing. Words speak me not. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I certainly am. And if the weather's anything like today, it is just absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The temperature is currently about 73 degrees, and I don't know why, but my watch is all of a sudden starting to call people I don't know. That's all the news for today. Again, I know, I wish I could come to you guys with something really, really exciting, but that doesn't seem to be happening. A few things to remind you: please subscribe, please like the video, and don't forget, if you're looking at purchasing camera gear and you purchase through Amazon or B&H, please use my affiliate links down below. It doesn't matter if you click on a link to my links down below to B&H and you find other stuff you want to buy. Doesn't matter. You just click on any link that I have down below, and if you purchase within like an hour or two, then I get a 2% back that helps go towards supporting the channel. So, and again, for those of you that do it, thank you very much for using the affiliate links. For some reason I can't speak. And also, I'm still selling the Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap. The only reason I have it around the other way, let's see, is that lined up? Let's lined up, is just for lighting. When I wear it this way, it creates some extra shadows, and so that's why I twist it around when I'm filming. But yes, the Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap is $34.99 at ordinaryfilmmaker.com/merch, MERCH. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, one last thing. Planet Liam just published another video, so you might want to check that out, and go ahead and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. That is, of course, if you like to hear the ramblings of a 7-year-old, especially one that's lost a few teeth in some sort of incident yesterday. He'll talk about that in his video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.